These are 3 different beef Wellingtons, and when they went on the show Shark Tank, the sharks said they loved them, but nobody invested in the company. But did the sharks actually think they tasted good, or was it just for the production? Let's get all 3 of them unpackaged and try them out, and I'll give you an honest rating of each of them. So weirdly, on the back of the package right here, it says to preheat to 425, but then they gave us these sheets for cooking tips that say to preheat to 350. So I'm gonna go with this one, preheat to 350, and cook for 22 to 25 minutes for each of them. I've got the oven preheating. Now let's open them up. So first up, the burger welly. Let's get this one opened up. Kind of just looks like a dough ball for now. And here it is outside of the packaging. A little bit of sesame seeds on the outside. Looks really like doughy and buttery. And now the classic welly. A little bit of spice on the top of this one. And there it is outside of its packaging. Looks like a little bit of maybe oregano on the top of that. And last up, the breakfast welly. And we get some poppy seeds, and it kind of looks like everything but the bagel seasoning on top of this one. And there's that outside of the packaging. The tips also say to get your baking sheets hot, so I'm gonna place these into the ovens also to make sure that those preheat with the oven. Our first pan is preheated, so let's get that out. And it does say to spray it with oil, so I'm gonna put a little layer of olive oil on the bottom right there and kind of baste it around a little bit. And let's get the burger on the top right there and the classic on the bottom, and throw this back in our oven. And in about 22 to 25 minutes, it says, we'll have those 2 ready, and the other one should be prepared to go in the oven soon also. And our breakfast one is now ready to be cooked as well. Let's get that into our top oven here, and I'll be back with you guys once those are all ready. It's been 25 minutes. Let's get these out of the oven. Those are looking nice and beautiful. You got the golden brown on the bottom. Instantly hit with that smell, and oh my God, guys, that's too good. I cannot wait to try these. Let's get the breakfast one out too though. And that one's even looking better, honestly. Even more golden on the top of it. Let's get these all plated up and to the table. We're gonna dive into the classic one first. Gotta try their classic first. This is a center cut filet wrapped in that flaky puff pastry and mushroom duxelle. As always, got my cat with me to try these out, or she's just gonna watch me try them probably. Let's get a cross-section cut of this classic right here and opened up. Okay, so to the touch, the inside of this is actually really, really cold. I think it needs to go back in the oven for a few more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, put it back in the oven. Even though I did for the 25 minutes, we'll go a little bit longer and then we'll come back to this. I think maybe because I put 2 of them in the oven at the same time, it didn't get all of the heat from the oven, and so they're gonna need another 5 to 10 minutes. But in the meantime, that breakfast one does look ready to me based on the outside of it. So let's cut this one in half and go for our first real cross section here. And get her opened up. And oh my God, guys, that one is just looking so delicious. And I wish you could smell this through the phone. I can't even explain how good this is. It's like the best breakfast sandwich smell you've ever smelled. So inside of this one is egg, cheddar cheese, crispy hash browns, turkey sausage, and it's wrapped in that flaky puff pastry, just like every Wellington. Most importantly, how does it taste? Let's dive into our first bite. So this sandwich is incredibly savory. You get all those flavors of a regular breakfast sandwich. It's honestly incredible. I'm not a huge fan of egg sandwiches generally, and I could see myself going back to this for sure. I'm gonna give this one a 9.2 out of 10. I will say one of the downsides I noticed with this one is that it's 690 calories for one breakfast sandwich, which to me is a ton. Just took them out of the oven again. We do have that beautiful golden on the one I haven't cut yet, and on the inside of this one, it is looking like a nice medium rare filet now. So let's get this back to the table. So again, here's the inside of this one right here. If you don't like your steak medium rare, I'm sorry, but you're just eating it wrong. Let's get a bite ready for this one. Let's dive into this and try it out. So overall, for a frozen beef Wellington, this is really, really good. The steak is super tender, it's super juicy, it has a ton of flavor. The beef Wellington itself, you get a ton of that mushroom flavor. The puff pastry is really good. It's super juicy overall. It's not the best beef Wellington I've ever had, but it is the best frozen beef Wellington I've ever had. I'm gonna give it an 8.1 out of 10. And last up, the burger welly. This is a cheeseburger with grilled onions and jalapenos wrapped in that same flaky, puffy pastry. That's a tongue twister a little bit, guys. But let's get this one cut in half also. You know we gotta get that beautiful cross section. This one is immediately leaking all of kind of like a little bit of oil and cheese all over the place, but we gotta look inside. How gorgeous does that look, guys? It looks like a delicious cheeseburger to me. Honestly, cooked perfectly. It looks like a bit of a medium cook, maybe a little bit over medium. This one's gonna be a little bit messy. It is leaking juices all over the places, but I'm just gonna go in for a bite and try this one out. I'm gonna take a little bit of the blame. I think I overcooked the burger a little bit, so that actual ground beef in there got a little bit dried out and tasted a little bit more chewy and overcooked than it should have. I'm gonna give it the benefit of a doubt and pretend like I cooked it perfectly. Aside from the overcooked beef, I really did like the flavors of this. You really do get a lot of that onions. You get a little bit of spice. I will say it's a bit oily for me. You can see how much oil is actually on that plate right there just from cutting it in half right there. But overall, I definitely did enjoy it. Again, it's not the best cheeseburger I've ever had, but for a frozen cheeseburger that's in this delicious puff pastry, it is really good. I'm gonna give this one a 7.9 out of 10. I also forgot to check the nutrition on the last two of these. The classic welly is 840 calories and the burger is 940 calories. So these are definitely not light on calories. However, I will say that the burger one does have 56 grams of protein, so that helps balance out the heavy calories in it a little bit. So overall, my final thoughts. The food overall was honestly pretty delicious. It's food that I would definitely get and eat again. The price of it though was $150 for these 3 times 2 of each of these, so 6 total sandwiches, which makes them a little bit over $20 per sandwich. And to me, the only one that's actually worth that price point is probably the one that has the filet in the middle, the classic welly. So will I be buying these again? Honestly, probably not, but I am glad that I tried them. And I think if you're having a little bit of like a family dinner, bringing people in for some sort of event, and you want to have just 6 frozen meals that you can cook up super fast and super easily, then this definitely could be a good option for you. Let me know in the comments which Shark Tank product you want me to try next, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.